Hey traders, what's going on? It's JD from TPA, and here we are on USD CAD, and we're looking at this pair because we've taken it short already. And I just want to go through and explain our reasoning for taking it short and how we're up 80 pips right now. So just like every other analysis, using last week's information, last week's market structure, the relevant areas, I use those same areas to identify a pullback area that I'd like to look for rejection in, to look for a continuation in price. So that's basically what we got here. I marked off this area being a relevant area, seeing as price closed below this, so it would be a pullback to go back up to this area, form a rejection, continued downside. Now if we didn't form a rejection at this first level here, I would have been anticipating a rejection of the second level. If we never got the rejection of the second level but the trend did continue, then we would have just popped back up into this middle range here, no entry taken, and then price would have came back to the downside where we would have been able to take an entry, following where we are now. So we pulled up to this area. We weren't able to get in on this doji candle. The EA just was not active at that point in time, but we did manage to get in on the bearish candle close, the whole two candle rejection, bullish bearish candle rejection, and stop loss would have been placed right on the opposite side of the zone there at about a total of, call it 23 pips. And so now we're definitely at risk 1 to gain 3. So this is a valid trade that we can close, but I will be writing it out to the weekly lows. Now worth mentioning as well is we have this red line in here. I just use this to mark off the last week's structure low and looking to see how price would deal with it as it came back into this area again. It did just break through, which is really good. The trend is continuing to the downside, and because we hit 80 pips, our stop loss was moving to break even. So we're just going to stay updated with this pair. No TPs are set. This is a semi-automatic EA, so I'm always here to just update it and stay up to date with what's going on in the market. So we'll catch you back with this one. Hey traders, what's going on? So here's the overall, the after effects of the USD CAD trade. Let me just zoom in here. Good thing we have the EA, so we can see that little mark there. That is where the stop loss was modified to. And we got out of this trade just at break even. So this is just a test I'm running, really trying to figure out some things and how to optimize mainly. And so we entered the position here. We ended up traveling down just about 90, call it 99 pips. And our original stop loss just on the other side of this resistance area, so entering on that bearish candle, stop loss just about 26 pips, with a minimum of 20 in these cases. We can see that basically right here in the inputs. So we have a minimum stop loss of 20 pips. So if we're risking 1 to 3 on average, or even 1 to 2, risking 23 pips, I can just pull it up here. 23 pips times 3 equals 76. So as long as we're able to pull 76 pips, that will be risk 1 to gain 3. And actually 26 pips, or let's do 27 pips to make sure we're safe, times 4, 108. So we wouldn't have made risk 1 to gain 4, but we would have made risk 1 to gain 3. So these are the things that I'm looking for, that I'm really just testing with this. And we're gonna have some other trades that I'm gonna show that we took this week as well, that I want to just give a good example for how things work, what I'm looking for, seeing that the trend is still continuing to the downside while we took that move. And obviously as the week goes on, as I'm about to do after this, is basically update my charts, because the market structure is progressing, it's developing, and we have to be aware for the changes and stuff like that in the structure, identifying that we did interact with this key low area. We did break below it, forming a new structure low, showing that the trend is continuing. At least for right now, there is no bullish higher high structure yet, so we'll just keep our eyes on this. But thank you for checking this video out, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay tuned and subscribe.